Hello, basement friends. Do small amounts of money drive people insane? The answer's yes. Let's start with, my father has lived a life of crime and drugs. He threw away every opportunity we gave him. Now that he's on disability, doesn't he owe his kids something? Subscribe right now, right down below, and let's do this. For most of his life, my father has lived a life of crime and drugs. He threw away every opportunity we gave him, financial or otherwise. He was never really around, besides the odd note written on yellow legal paper that I would get from time to time asking how my life was going. In 2018, my father had a son and began to turn his life around, or so I thought. A few years later, he hurt himself playing softball and thought that ended his quest for maintaining a job. The doctor disagreed. After that, his aunt purchased a home for him. Because he wasn't working, my father's cousin kept paying the mortgage while he continued to live there. After a year, the cousin evicted my father, who began staying in hotels and shelters. His sister, my younger sister, and I found him a job at Goodwill. My siblings and I got him a used car, and he drove it off the lot, went for a joyride, and wasn't heard from for 3 days. He didn't keep up payments on the car. My brother was put in foster care. For the next 2 years, my father was homeless. After a major health scare that landed him in the hospital for 3 weeks, he was put in a drug and alcohol rehabilitation program. He got clean and was awarded custody of his son last year. A judge then awarded him disability, even though in my own view, the deterioration in his health was due to his own transgressions. He was awarded back pay of $23,000 and monthly support to take care of himself and son. He is on Section 8 and pretty much set for life as long as he stays clean. My 2 sisters and I believed that after many years of receiving nothing from my father, he would give us $1,000 each. He refused and thought we were being selfish. He agreed to give us $150. We haven't spoken since. Am I a 38-year-old brat, or am I a 38-year-old who deserves his dues? You're a 38-year-old brat. Yes, there's no excuse for how your dad acted while you were growing up. And you obviously put in a lot of work trying to help him out, but he's getting his life on track now, and you don't deserve dues for that. Also, $1,000 is such a weird amount. You're 38 years old. That isn't going to have any real impact on your life. You just want to take something from him. Probably because of some unresolved issues, but work on those instead. I don't know, basement friends. Tell me your opinion. Tell me what you think. But now on to, I've been married 7 years and have 8 kids from a previous marriage. Will I be entitled to my mother-in-law's home when she dies? Let's find out together, basement friends. I've been married to my husband for 7 years and we have 1 child together. I also have 8 children from a previous marriage, and he has 1 child from a previous marriage. His dad died several years ago, and his mom's health is currently not great. I have a question about inheritance. My mother-in-law doesn't like me, so I can't talk to her about this. My question: does my husband automatically inherit her home when she dies? He is her only living child. She has lived in the house before my husband was born, and I'm not sure if she still has a mortgage. Will I be entitled to my mother-in-law's home if my husband inherits it and predeceases me, or even if we go through a divorce? Oh my god, you're planning to kill him. That's it. I don't have anything financial to contribute about this. Please make jokes about this woman in the comments. My husband and I set up a non-profit for his parents. We charged them $10,000. When his siblings found out, all hell broke loose. Now, they want $10,000 for simply doing chores. I am a former creative director for a global ad agency, and now a freelance writer who bills at $125 an hour. My husband owns a graphic design firm that bills at $175 an hour. Last year, my in-laws, who have always been deeply involved in social justice issues, asked my husband and I to help them standardize and expand a successful local program they had funded. The idea was to allow the program to spread across the country and create a lasting legacy. My husband is close with his parents, as am I, and we are excited and honored to join in their endeavor. For years, we have provided off-the-cuff advice about ways to build it. But it was, of course, a crushing amount of work. We agreed that it would involve creating an attractive 25-week curriculum, websites, newsletters, PowerPoint presentations, 30-plus supplementary materials, and social media campaigns, as well as taking numerous meetings and traveling to various locations to establish partnerships. The good news was that all of this fell well within our area of expertise. Understanding what a huge amount of time and energy this would take, and that we are both working full-time, my in-laws insisted on paying us for our efforts. They are well-to-do. After a fair amount of discussion, my husband and I settled on the lowest amount we could justify. We invoiced them for 50% of our hours at 25% of our hourly rate. We did not bill them for meetings or travel. Reality has intruded, and we've netted out at billing more like 30% of our hours and 10% of our rate, but that's okay. The bottom line, we decided to charge $10,000. That's what I alone would usually charge for creating a single website. We spent an exhausting but very happy and productive year pulling it all together, working nights, on the weekends, and through vacations. Between the two of us, we clocked more than 1,000 hours. But our efforts almost immediately paid off. We will be launching with a major national partner soon. 3 other large nonprofits have shown interest as well, so yay! However, when my husband's 3 siblings, all over the age of 60 and financially secure, heard that we were getting paid to do the work, all hell broke loose. Each demanded to be paid the same amount and acted ugly to us in different ways. No, they didn't help in any way. No, they hadn't done any equivalent work for which they had not been compensated. But they insisted it wasn't fair and raised such a ruckus that the parents, disgusted and hurt, capitulated and cut them each a check to shut them up. Now the siblings are also getting paid for tasks that my husband and I have always taken as loving familial duty and done for free. Driving them places, helping take up the dock at their lake house, etc. The siblings' official party line is, our time is worth something too. Yes, everyone's time is worth something. The question is, when it comes to family, at what point should the meter start running? I will add that my husband and I once paid more than $1,000 to his brother's family to board our dog because they had a dog boarding business. The greed and immaturity we have seen in this situation has changed the way we feel about the family. Any insights you have will be much appreciated. OP, your husband's siblings are dicks. Who the hell charges their parents to help them out? The people who are responsible for everything they have in life. But we're gonna finish this with a story about someone who's infinitely better than the human dumpster fires we've been reading about before. This is, I stock shelves 3 days a week, I'm 28, a single mother, a veteran, and work 2 part-time jobs. Should I accept my father's offer to pay for my expenses? I'll give you a hint. The answer's yes, because everyone involved in this story are just upstanding people. I'm a 28-year-old single mother. I joined the military when I was 18 to pay for college, and to give me time to consider what I wanted to major in. I've worked hard, made some financial mistakes, but I've always managed to save a fair amount. And now, I'm ready to finish college when I leave the service this fall. Because I want to pursue a kind of intense major at a difficult school, I don't think I should be working more than part-time while I'm a full-time student. For the last few months, I've been working 2 part-time jobs in addition to my military duties to save up for my monthly shortfall while I'm in school. I spend my weekend mornings making donuts, and I stock shelves at a grocery store 3 days a week. I don't earn a lot or get much sleep, but it allows me to save some money and still spend time with my son, which I can do as both of my sisters live with me. Yesterday, my dad told me that he thinks I'm being stretched too thin, but I pointed out that I worked a similar number of hours weekly while I was deployed. He is so worried that he made me an offer. If I quit my second part-time job, he'll pay me the amount I would have earned there every month. He doesn't want me to get sick or be too tired to enjoy my son growing up. I initially accepted his offer because he seemed so worried and earnest. I admit that I like the thought of no more 90-hour weeks. Now I'm having second thoughts. mostly because I can't shake the feeling that it isn't fair. He's approaching retirement, and I don't know if this would set him back. I feel that a grown person with a kid of their own shouldn't be running to daddy with money trouble. My dad thinks it's fair because he offered to pay in-state tuition for all 5 of his kids and he's already paid for 3. He thinks it's just another way of giving me the same benefit. But I think there's a pretty significant difference between helping pay tuition for an 18-year-old and helping pay the mortgage for a 28-year-old. I don't think it's fair to my brothers and sisters. The shocking number of people who are either secretly resentful of or secretly resented by their siblings because of perceived unfairness. I get along with my siblings quite well, but I don't want to give a reason for something to come between us. I'm not sure what to do. I don't really want to accept my dad's money if it has the potential to cause problems. But I also don't want my dad to worry about me or feel like I'm rejecting him. How can I handle this gracefully without ruffling feathers? See, basement friends, I told you we were going to end on a more heartwarming note. And OP, you should definitely accept your father's help. You don't have to feel guilty about it at all. If you're worried about it creating some sort of financial burden for him, just talk to him about it. At the very least, look at, once you graduate and get a job, you could even pay him back if you wanted to. Please subscribe. The channel is still very young, and that little thing would help immensely. See you next time, friends.